successful, most people think about success is it's all about your job or how much money you make. However, the true measurement of accomplishment might not be about success at all. Well, my next guest is one of the most requested speakers in the world and an author many times over. I said earlier, 21 books. Would you please welcome my dear friend, Dan Clark. Dan the man! Hello, my buddy. How are you? We just saw each other at a big book signing.
We did.
Yeah.
There were 1,200 folks who had purchased her book waiting in this snaking line, and she stands up and gives me a hug and then announces to everybody, the 3 people who are going to buy my book, that they shouldn't believe one thing that I have to say, so thank you so much. Thought I better come on the show and defend my honor.
I did. I looked at everybody. He's going to be here tomorrow, and don't believe anything he writes. Nothing he says. No, he is so awesome. You're going to love him. You.
And for the record,
okay, so
I am so glad you didn't introduce me as a motivational speaker. They always say goofy things like we become what we think about, and that's not true. If that was true, I'd have been a woman by the time I was 12 years old. In fact, I would have been Marie by the time I was 20. I love you.
I love you too. Okay, your book is called The Art of Significance. What do you mean by that, Dan?
Successful people get what they want, but at the end of the day, too many people don't like what they got. I played football with a gentleman. He was drafted into the NFL in the 2nd round. After 4 years in the NFL, he quit, walked out of practice, never to play again. Why? He loved being a football player, but he hated playing football.
Yeah.
He got what he wanted, but he hated what he got.
Right. You know, don't you think that a lot of kids do that nowadays when they think that as they enter their profession, it's like, well, I want to make a lot of money. But you don't make money if you don't have passion for what you do.
Exactly. What we need to do is create something that outlasts ourselves. The goal is not for us to live forever. The goal is for us to create something that will. That's significance.
That is significant.
And you, Marie, epitomize, you know, the art of significance is what you've done your whole entire life. I should have just put about 5 photos of you in the book because you epitomize what it's really about.
Oh, you're so nice. You're very sweet. It's like I said just recently on a show that I did, people aren't going to remember me in 60, 70 years, but my children will.
Yes.
My grandchildren will. They'll remember
Absolutely.
me. That's significance. That's what you're talking about.
Absolutely. You know, on October 22nd, I had a chance to go up to the edge of space. It's a classified altitude, maybe 15 miles above the Earth's surface. I was in a U-2 spy plane. And when I got a chance to look at the curvature of the Earth and actually gaze into the blackness of space, what occurred to me is that everything we can take with us when we die, I had aboard with me on that aircraft. Our education, our character, what we do with our tragedies, our adversity, our convictions, what do we believe, and did our lives matter? Did we actually leave a legacy? Can I leave your show and you say, I like me best when I'm with you, I want to see you again, and that's the goal. That's the purpose of every relationship.
Very cool. Okay, so tell me some of the laws.
Law number 2, exercise perseverance instead of patience. Now remember, what I did is I identified the 12 principles of success and replaced them with what I call the 12 highest universal laws of life-changing leadership. We've all been raised to believe that patience is a virtue. With all due respect, no, it's not. Patience allows us to never begin.
No.
Any virtue taken to the extreme can become a vice. And so if you think about
very
it,
interesting.
yeah,
It's true.
people who have patience basically mindlessly wait their turn. They think that this was the cross that they were given to bear, they were dealt a bad hand, and they spend their whole entire lives with victim mentality. Perseverance is patience with a purpose. You know, I'd love to share what I learned about my football injury, because that's where I really discovered the difference between why and how. I was paralyzed for 14 months. I played football for 13 years in a tackling drill. My eye drooped, I had loss of speech momentarily, but my right side was paralyzed, my arm dangled helplessly at my side. And I stayed that way, I stayed paralyzed for 14 months. 16 doctors told me I would never get any better. And as I started to get better, I was asked to speak. That's how I became a professional speaker and author. Mm-hmm. And people now ask me, what took me so long? Why did I stay paralyzed for 14 months? And the answer is very simple. I was asking the wrong questions. The reason why I stayed paralyzed was because I was asking the doctors how to get better, when I should have been asking myself why. Once we answer why, figuring out the how-to is pretty simple. Yeah. Why is what gives patience purpose, which turns it into perseverance. Give me a reason to hang in there.
You know
Give me a
what?
reason to get back
We're
up
going to
and
hang
go
in
again.
with you too. We have to take a quick break, and then we're going to find out why. Okay? So stay with us. We'll be back with Dan and the Art of Significance.
Coming up, author Dan Clark reveals how to attract significant wealth into your life.
I know so. I am back with author, speaker, and my good friend, Dan Clark, who, you know what, sometimes it's just so fun to hang with people that all you do is sit and laugh. And Dan is this kind of guy. He's awesome. He is here, though, to be serious, too. He's telling us his secrets, not to success, but to significance in his new book, The Art of Significance. And so, Dan, we're going to do something, kind of a little audience participation thing here, okay? Okay, so we're going to apply, so how do we set this up? We need to set up some laws,
Okay.
and then I'm going to ask you guys which one you think is the correct answer, and then you're going to tell us what. Okay, to the audience, in life, is it more important to be needed or to be romanced? What do you think, audience? Needed or romanced? Okay, that's like I would say that's an 80% romance. Okay, what do you think?
Sounded like a McDonald's drive-through when they're... Think about it. Love is a commitment, not a way of feeling. Romance is not love. Romance comes from a Greek word that means erotic. So I don't even want to talk about it. But if I love you because you're beautiful, that's romance. If you're beautiful because I love you, that's real love. It's a value-creating love that inspires us to be the best that we can be. So if you think about it, most of us know we are liked, most of us know we are loved, but those of us who hang around and commit to that long-term relationship really believe we're needed.
Okay, that was good. Okay, so here's the next one, audience. As a person, should we focus on winning or being a team? Winning? Okay, that's like 100% they said team.
Okay, there's the 21st century mother and fatherhood. Everybody has to win. Everybody gets a trophy. Contraire, mon frère. Teams lose. There's two I's in winning. There's no I in team, but there's two I's in winning. The first I represents independent individual preparation. Second I represents interdependent collaboration, which is a commitment to contribute. So yes, you're right. It is about team. They don't give Super Bowl rings out one at a time, but the teams that win have the greatest number of individual I players on them. Please don't let me be the weak link.
Interesting. Okay, but you know what? You just said something, Dan, that I think is so important. I think we're teaching our children wrong things when you go to a soccer game and everybody gets a trophy.
Absolutely.
I think this generation, they don't know how to fail. And failing is part of learning. They don't know how to lose gracefully or how to high five or compliment somebody else. Why is that happening?
Because we're focusing in on success instead of significance.
Yeah.
What we really want to do is leave a legacy, create value and relevance. So it's not so much winning on the scoreboard, which we think winning is. It's about going beyond what is expected of us and leaving our lives and others' lives in a significant place where they actually like what they get.
Okay, last question to the audience. Okay, is it covenants or commitments? Covenants or commitments? Commitments.
Commitments, okay.
That's what
The
they're saying.
definition of a
I would
commitment-
say that's about a 65%. Okay. No, 75.
Okay, so in law number 10, love or be needed instead of romance and used, I established commitment as one of the laws. Now it's a principle that sets up the highest law called covenant. A commitment is a two-way contract born out of suspicion. You'll make a list of your responsibilities.
that is
I'll make
really
a list
interesting.
And you make a list of your responsibilities. I make a list of my responsibilities. I hold you accountable. You hold me accountable.
Right.
If we violate any one of those line items, the commitment is completely nil and void. A covenant is a one-way promise born out of love and trust. No matter how you treat me or what you say, I will still be exactly the same, which is Marie Osmond 101.
Aw, you're so sweet. Well, I covenant that I am your good friend.
Awesome.
And I adore you. But you're absolutely right. It's unconditional.
Absolutely.
Love, that's a covenant. You're absolutely correct. Everybody in the audience gets one of Dan's books. Make sure you read it. It's really true. And he is a great guy, I promise. Don't believe anything he says, but no. The Art of Significance, Achieving the Level Beyond Success. Thank you, Dan, for being
Thanks
here.
for
Please
having
come
me.
back. I adore you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.